Hello and welcome to this BB Education cutting tutorial. Today's tutorial is focusing on this beautiful, long, soft layered shape. This type of shape is given many names: shag haircut, wolf cut, butterfly haircut. Ultimately, these are all versions of a dynamic called the round layer. We're going to subdivide our front section into two. So we're going to split it into half, dropping away the bottom. This is the hair we're going to cut first. We complete this on both sides, subdividing the hair into two. We're now going to take a small amount of hair from each side. A slight diagonal back section is taken for us to get a small amount of hair from each side for us to cut our first section. This leaves us this small amount of hair in the middle that we will pull into the centre and cut. By doing so, we can then split this section and have a guideline for each side. We're going to be slicing or razoring this section. This is to ensure that the outline looks shattered and looks frayed. When slicing, we'll only use the V part of the scissor. This is the sharpest and most robust part of the scissor. So don't slice on an angle, slice straight down to ensure we get a nice equal shape. Before cutting the fringe, ensure you have assessed any natural hair growth patterns around the hairline. Hair growth patterns will affect the choice of length as the hair will spring back. So if I want it on the eyebrow for an example, I will cut it to the middle of the nose. This will compensate for the root area. Now lifting the hair up and down will affect how thick the line looks. If you want it thicker, keep the elevation lower. If you want it softer, you can lift the elevation higher. We're now going to begin with our slicing. Slicing the hair is the same as using a razor. We ensure that we work with the V of our scissor. There's slow stroking movements going back and forth, and there's a slight movement from my thumb to help the scissor glide through. We now separate the section that we've just cut into two. This gives us a guideline for the left side and for the right side. So this piece of hair here is our guideline for section 2. Section 2 is taken as a diagonal back. We take 3 and section 4 in the same manner. We will be over directing these sections to the previous, so 2 to 1, 3 to 2 and 4 to 3. This will give us a slow increase in length travelling towards the outline. So we are not over directing every section into the middle. We are only over directing these sections to the previous. You can see the finished result. It goes from shorter at the centre forehead, going to longer towards the recession. We now start on the opposite side in the same way. Section 2 is over directed onto 1, 3 will go to 2, and 4 will go to 3. So here we have the baseline of our fringe. We're now going to take down the subdivided sections and we're going to connect them in. but we're going to connect them in by using a degree of elevation, as if we cut the bangs connected on a zero elevation or natural fall, this will just thicken the outline, and we've just used all that slicing motion to ensure that we don't have a heavy outline. Beginning the layer, we take a diagonal back section. We direct our section where we want the length to increase. We want it to be shorter at the front and longer at the back. All of our subsequent sections will travel backwards but be parallel to section 1. We're going to take a small amount of hair from each side, and we're going to cut this in the same way we did the bangs. When starting the bangs, we took a small amount of hair from each side, we pulled it down to the chosen length and sliced. We want our layers to be around the lip area and not as short as the fringe. So we hold it down and we work with the V of our scissor and slice. When slicing, when it comes to the layers, the main advantage is that the outline falls soft and transparent. This helps especially when using disconnection, as it falls and blends in. We'll just pull it straight forward. The lower the elevation, the stronger and more blunt the line will look as it falls. The higher, the softer. We are choosing to work with a higher elevation as we want the layers to fall quite transparent and very well blended. We lift the section directly forward to ourselves with a higher elevation. As the section is pulled forward, we use the section we cut for the guide and we begin our slicing motion. We slice with a scooping motion, creating a concave layer. Working in this way means the hair will fall away from the head, getting longer towards the bottom. This will maintain the integrity of the perimeter. The layer we are creating, the round layer I should say, is falling like a face frame. You can see here it's falling with a gradual increase in length towards the back. All of our subsequent sections will work parallel to section 1. They will go slightly diagonal back. All of the sections will be pulled to a stationary guide. This means that every section we cut is going to be pulled all the way to section 1. The elevation will stay the same, as will the over direction. We won't be over directing the hair forward or backwards, but just straight towards where I'm stood at the front. We're going to slice to connect. You could of course use a razor or a point cutting technique. Slicing has the advantage of being able to go from a short to long area rapidly. You can see here the sections are working all the way back to the occipital bone. So we're taking all the sections and they're all going to be pulled all the way forward to a stationary guide. When you reach the final few sections, you're probably going to find that there's not a lot of hair coming off. When there isn't much hair to take away, it can become very difficult to slice. In this situation, you can just point cut to remove the excess and to connect into the guide. Again, notice how the hair falls, working shorter at the front to longer at the back, mimicking the face frame. The same as the other side, all of the sections are ever directed to a stationary guide, ensuring that we get a rapid increase in length from the shorter layers around the face frame to how long the hair is on the crown. This ensures we do not interrupt the outline excessively. We're now going to remove all the hair that's been braided and connect it into the rest. When we do this, you will notice that we suddenly start to lose all of our face frame. We suddenly have lost it because it's sitting over the length. So what we're now going to do is to slice in some face framing at the front. We work with the radial section, working from the crown to just behind the ear. So we are over directing to ensure that we don't risk losing too much of the length. Now here is our finished shape prior to blow drying. You can see you could scrunch dry this and have it wavy or curly, or you can blow dry it to be big and voluminous or textured. It all depends on the preference of the client. But this look is a very versatile look. We're going to prep the hair with a leave-in conditioner and heat protection spray. We're then going to just begin a simple wrap drying process to pin down the volume in the root area so that the fringe isn't too bouncy and the fringe is sitting quite low and quite soft. Here is our finished look. We now use a hairspray to sculpt and refine our shape. We use this to help create some definition throughout the fringe and to also secure the style to make sure it holds. It is important if you're using a hairspray to ensure it is medium hold and not firm hold. Here for an example, I'm using the hairspray not for hold but for separation and to give some definition to the fringe. And this completes today's tutorial. We really hope you've enjoyed our look at the versatile technique of round layers. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.